Welcome to POSH Judgments, your window into the latest court rulings shaping workplace dignity and safety across India. Stay updated as we bring you real cases, real decisions, and lessons that matter, because awareness is the first step to prevention.
Welcome to POSH Judgments on Metis Posh Radio, India's first radio for posh awareness. Today's episode takes us to the Delhi High Court, where a crucial question was examined. How far can an internal complaints committee go? And how essential is due process, even in cases involving serious allegations of sexual harassment? The case before the court was Union of India and Ors versus Naresh. It was heard by the High Court of Delhi at New Delhi. The judgment was pronounced on the 7th of January 2026 after being reserved in November 2025. The bench comprised Justice Naveen Chawla and Justice Madhu Jain, with the judgment authored by Justice Madhu Jain. This case arose from a complaint filed in December 2021 by a second-year girl student at the Indian Institute of Handloom Technology in Guwahati. The complaint accused Naresh, a workshop foreman appointed in 2020, of serious misconduct towards girl students. Following the complaint, the institute constituted an Internal Complaints Committee, or ICC, under the POSH Act. Naresh was placed under suspension, and the ICC conducted meetings to inquire into the allegations. Based on its findings, the institute terminated his services in March 2022, relying on the ICC's recommendations. Naresh challenged this termination. He argued that although the allegations were serious, the process adopted by the ICC was fundamentally unfair. He claimed that he was not given a copy of the complaint in time, that witnesses were examined in his absence, that he was denied the opportunity to cross-examine them, and that the ICC's report was never shared with him before his termination. The Central Administrative Tribunal agreed with him. It set aside the termination order and directed the authorities to restart proceedings by following the due procedure under service rules. The Union of India then approached the Delhi High Court, challenging the tribunal's decision. Judgment and court's observations. The High Court examined the interaction between the POSH framework and the Central Civil Services rules governing disciplinary inquiries. Under Rule 14.2 of the CCA Rules, an ICC is deemed to be the inquiry authority in cases of sexual harassment. However, the rule also says that the inquiry must be conducted as far as practicable, in accordance with established disciplinary procedures. The court made it clear that as far as practicable does not mean as little as possible. Even in sensitive cases of sexual harassment, the principles of natural justice cannot be discarded. An employee facing termination must know the charges, must be allowed to respond meaningfully, and must be given a fair chance to defend himself. The bench noted serious procedural lapses. The ICC examined multiple students in Naresh's absence without giving him notice. The termination order relied heavily on an alleged confession, but the inquiry report itself was never supplied to him before action was taken. These steps, the court observed, fell short of the fairness required under law. The judges relied on recent Supreme Court guidance, especially in Aureliano Fernandez versus State of Goa, which emphasized that while sexual harassment inquiries must protect complainants, they must also be procedurally fair. A balance has to be struck. Fairness to one side cannot result in injustice to the other. The Delhi High Court upheld the tribunal's decision. It agreed that the termination could not stand because the inquiry process violated principles of natural justice. The court directed that the matter be sent back to the Internal Complaints Committee for a fresh inquiry to be conducted strictly in accordance with the rules and with procedural fairness. At the same time, the court clarified that Naresh would not be reinstated during the pendency of the fresh inquiry, to ensure that the process remains free from influence or intimidation. The ICC was directed to complete the inquiry within 6 months. This judgment carries an important message for workplaces across India. The POSH law exists to protect dignity and safety at work, especially for women and students. But this protection is strengthened, not weakened, when procedures are fair, transparent, and balanced. A flawed process risks undoing even the most serious findings. The Delhi High Court reminds us that justice is not only about outcomes, but also about how those outcomes are reached. For POSH awareness, this case reinforces a simple truth. Strong systems depend on both sensitivity and fairness, working together. You've been listening to POSH Judgments.
This was a simplified summary of an actual court judgment, created to help listeners understand the essence of the case and its relevance to workplace safety and POSH law. It is not a verbatim reproduction of the official judgment, and certain details have been adapted for clarity and ease of understanding. If you wish to read the complete judgment, along with all cited laws, sections, and case references, please visit www.metisposh.com.